Hi everyone, this is Steve. Regarding the Fosi Audio's first IM, the IM4, if you consider it purely as a set of IMs for music appreciation, I would say it is overall pretty standard. As a first in-ear monitor from a desktop amp manufacturers, the build quality is overall great. And the sound isn't bad at all. But to be honest, the $80 to $100 price bracket has never lacked good IEMs. You have too many options to choose from. Its sound, at the best, simply matches its price tag. However, if we treat it as a gaming IEM, things start to get interesting. Treating the IM4 as a gaming IM means this set needs to possess either fantastic bass or a fantastic soundstage. In a sense, the IM4 occupies both. Let me explain from the beginning. The IM4 uses a relatively rare Openback rare cavity design. The benefits of doing this is obvious. The IM4's performance regarding horizontal soundstage is something the vast majority of closing back IMs absolutely cannot achieve. The wide soundstage is just one aspect. The IM4 is full of air. Well, I wouldn't go so far as to compare it to a full-size over-ear headphones. It successfully reduced the clock sensation of the closing back in ears. There is no booming sensation in the sub-bass, which, to a certain extent, actually provides a better wearing experience. Now, in terms of sound quality, the IM4 leans towards a neutral style, warm yet keeping things bright. Directionally, it is a V shape, but in terms of subjective precision, the bass doesn't occupy the dominant position. Because the Openback rear cavity allows the sound to expand very openly, there's no situation where the sub-bass decays slowly like in the closing back monitors, nor is it easy to produce making some effect. The IM4 forces you to attention to focus mainly on the mid frequencies, and this becomes even more obvious when you use lower volume. Therefore, the low end is still the type of bass I like. Less sub-bass quantity with an emphasis on the resolution and the clarity. It is very friendly to instruments. The feeling of the mid is quite complex. The IM4's vocals are positioned relatively close to the ear, but because the lower mids are perhaps dipped a bit too much, the result is what, while the overall listening experience is clean, the vocals feels a bit thin. But this thinness isn't a lack of information, but rather a lack of emotional expression. You will feel that the detail retrieval is all there and very precise. The feeling is a lot like going to a fine dining restaurant. The dishes are great, but you didn't get full. The high frequencies, I believe, are the essence of the IM4. As a dynamic driver IEMs, the IM4 highs are surprising, very crisp and full of gloss. Well, as a single dynamic driver IEMs, the IM4 highs are actually surprising, very crisp and full of gloss. While not having excessive metallic timbre, the sibilance is also controlled very well. The sound description above is mainly based on the black nozzle. The IM4 also comes equipped with another brass nozzles for selection. If you feel the IM4 sounds too warm, you can adopt this configuration. The brass nozzle makes the IM4 brighter, but the downside is less sub-bass, and the highs might appear precise. Therefore, my main configuration is aluminum black nozzle plus the included sub-bass ear tips. Speaking of which, I can finally explain to you why the IM4 is a pair of IMs very suitable for gaming. Gamers, you have definitely bought, perhaps even more than one pair of gaming headsets. And the vast majority of gaming headsets basically follow one characteristic: heavy bass. Headphones with a lot of bass sell well. This is a fact repeatedly proven by the Dr. Sean Oliver. For gaming needs, in cinematic narrative games like the Call of Duty or the Battlefield, low frequencies can bring you immersion. Explosions and collapsing buildings feels like they are happening right around you. But if we are talking about a real esports, like playing the rank, too much low frequencies is not necessarily a good thing. Well, you can record that actually. Most sound in games that allows people to react are those high frequency sounds, such as the footsteps, gunshots, reloading, and the close whistling. Although their sound certainly contains low frequencies as well, the low end often only confuse your sense of direction. Even in games like Tarkov, where they are deliberately increasing the low frequency portion of footsteps, you feel like the bass is the footsteps. In psychoacoustic, this is called the auditory masking effect. Specifically, the way it works is called upward masking effect. Simply put, the loud low frequencies, for example the explosions at 100 Hz, will directly within the human ear's hearing mechanism, physically erase the weak mid to high frequencies, for example the footstep at the 4 kHz. Alright, that's enough theory. I'm trying to not always do the theory digging. We should rely on listening. So I've prepared some Rainbow Six Siege things I recorded myself. You can try your best to distinguish the sounds in the game to see which headphone allows you to better identify the enemy's position. As mentioned before, because of the IM4's open structure, the bass has no residue vibration. This essentially lowers the decay time of the low frequencies, which allows your ear to pay more attention to high frequencies information. At the same time, the IM4's imaging capability is quite reliable, which makes the positioning performance in games very powerful. Well, of course, the downside of doing this is also obvious. For example, the sound effect like explosion in movies or games, the IM4 sounds much cheaper. Like some that should be earth-shattering feels like they are wearing a layer of earplugs. But this merely means the IM4 is not suitable for watching videos or playing those non-competitive games, playing mainly for immersion. I actually think the experience of using it to listen to music is still very good. Here, let's have another sound demo so we can experience it directly.
Small town, too hot. I'm going for a trip. A place where dreams are made like comic strips. I see colors and planes, laser guns and champagne. I feel strong and smart, ready for a new start. It got me too. And I know it's surprising what we can do. I can hardly believe it.
To summarize, with its powerful imaging capabilities and the superior soundstage, the IM4 provides the essential abilities needed for a quality gaming headset. Beyond that, its high resolution also gives these IEMs considerable performance for a music appreciation. But of course, when it comes to listening to music, it has some bias. It is more suitable for listening to instrument-focused songs like funky or ritual pop, etc. As a product priced at $99 and being the manufacturer's first IEMs, I think its performance is sufficient. Alright, that's for today's video. I'm Steve, and I see you in the next one.